Hello, everybody. Today I'm with a very special guest, Will Allday. Will, how are you?
Hey, I'm well, Jordan. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, I'm doing well. Well, you've had a pretty good year. Reality of wrestling's going crazy right now, and champion. How you feeling?
I'm good, man. I'm feeling very well. I'm ready for the year to kind of be over. I made sure that my last month and a half was kind of a break for me, so I got a few more shows to close out the year, and I'm looking to start 2022 off strong.
And what's your goals for 2022?
Well, right now with reality wrestling going on the road, we are going instead of doing one show a month here in the Houston area, we are doing, or I guess we're shooting for 6 to 8 a month, and we're traveling all over Texas. We're going to make this a regional territory, and we have TV all over the US. So my immediate goal is to grow that. Obviously still doing stuff with New Japan and AEW and hopefully WWE, and maybe get picked up by one of those guys. But right now, I'm looking to grow this brand. I'm looking to grow reality wrestling by taking these championships everywhere I go and just representing.
Is there any places that you want to go right now, like independent wise and wrestle?
No, not really. Nothing that like I truly like desire. I want to be everywhere, but nothing in particular.
Okay. And with doing stuff with WWE, New Japan, and AEW, what's it like kind of on the road, like I would say consistently for like dark matches or whatever it may be, and then coming back and working reality of wrestling?
It's pretty similar. What Booker does is he teaches us to work TV. So he sets his shows up, he sets his promotion up like WWE essentially. He sets it up to where when we get in the building at call time, we get in, we greet everybody, we hang out for a little bit, we get into our meetings, we get a rundown of where we're going to be on the card, what he needs from us, and we work the cameras. So ever since I started, and thankfully I started at Reality of Wrestling, I've been working a TV style. So it's a smooth transition. I had a match on Monday Night Raw, I think like 6 months into my career. And people asked me if I got nervous, and the answer was no. I got butterflies, I got excited, but there wasn't the nervousness that you would expect because I had been preparing for something like this every time I walked through the doors at Reality of Wrestling.
And when you wrestled on Raw, it was against Kurt Hawkins, and you ended up winning that via disqualification.
Yes,
So, how is that making like your Raw debut? I'd say in winning.
it was cool. It was very cool. It was at the Toyota Center in Houston, and it's my hometown, so it was cool to go to that like venue that I had seen so many sports teams or concerts at before, and 20,000 people, loud, right? And I guess this was 2018, middle of 2018. It was cool because there were people that knew me in the crowd, right? People that knew me watching on TV. It was very surreal. It was something that I got to check off my bucket list, right off the bat.
And you had a WWE tryout recently at the Performance Center too. How did? Well, we don't really get to hear how those experiences go. What was it like?
It was grueling. They try to run you through the ringer. They do a lot of cardio drills. They throw you through a workout. They throw you through a couple matches. They put you in front of all these legends. It's very nerve wracking. There's a lot of pressure there because you're not just there to have fun. You're there to get a job. You're there to impress people. You're there to make a statement. And so that is weighing on you the whole time, even when you're not in the ring. From the moment you get on that plane and get into that hotel room, and you got to go through your physical, you got to do all this stuff, and you have to pass it all, and you have to pass it all with flying colors. If they don't like one thing, they're not going to sign you because you have to have the total package to be there. And I'm still waiting to hear back on that. I think that I did a really good job there, and I was told that I did a really good job there, so we'll see what comes of it.
And if WWE didn't work out, I'm sure you have plenty of options with AEW as well because you have wrestled a lot of dark matches on there. How does dark work like bringing in people?
I'm not too sure. I know that their management contacted me to bring me in each time, and that was about it. I got on a plane, I went there, and it's similar to WWE in the sense that you get there early at call time, you have your catering, you wait for the meetings to be done to figure out what you're going to do, and then you go out there and you perform. And you can't really treat a lot of these things like they're different. Even these independent shows, you have to go out there and try to impress people, because there may be somebody who's never seen you before, so you have to show them what you've got. Or there may be a guy who's telling people around him, hey, watch this guy, and if you don't perform, if you don't impress, then you let him down, and the people around him are going to be disappointed as well. And so it's that's something I try to do everywhere I go, is put my best foot forward. I try to I think Kobe Bryant said it, to where that there's that one kid up in the stands, and I don't want him to be disappointed when he goes home and doesn't see what the real Kobe Bryant can do. So that's kind of the same mentality I take into every single show that I go to.
Okay, and are with the Kobe reference, are you a basketball fan?
No, I'm a sports fan.
Okay.
I played basketball in high school, but I also played like baseball and football, and I dabbled in a little soccer and whatnot. I love sports in general. That's kind of how I grew up. That was my transition into wrestling, was from sports. I played football and baseball in college at Rice University, and so once I was done there and I went into the workforce, it was kind of like I had to fill that void. And what better to do it with than this, where I can throw on a performance and throw my athleticism in and get paid for it. So it was just a perfect mesh.
Was growing up, was the goal going to be a wrestler, or was it orientated towards sports?
Sports for sure. I liked watching wrestling. I grew up watching the Attitude Era essentially, and then I kind of faded off and started watching it again, like as I got into college by chance. But I always wanted to be an athlete, because that's my granddad played soccer in England. My parents were athletes, and that's just how I grew up, and that's what I loved. I loved competition. I loved going out there, whether it be on the court or on the field. I just loved having a ball and being able to run with it.
From a wrestling point of view, with sports and wrestling, it's kind of like the same thing almost, but you know, people say it has a predetermined finish, but really it's more of like you guys put your body in the lines just as much as anybody else does, or even more. So
Yep.
when you hear fans like say stuff like that as a wrestler, what's the mindset?
Um, I mean, I'm kind of everybody's different, but I'm kind of the ilk of where I just don't really care
Mhm.
about what people are saying. I don't really listen to it, because if they say something that like that, it's fake or whatever. It's just ignorance. They just don't know what they're talking about. And a lot of my family and friends, they don't like wrestling, but they come and they watch me because they like to support. And then once they're there, they start to appreciate it, because once you actually see it in person, you appreciate the complexity, like how hard it is what we do, because we have to kill each other without killing each other. And it's a very hard art form to do, while also portraying emotions, while also conveying a story. It's one of the hardest things I've ever had to do, honestly. And it's pretty cool to progress and to see my progression from where I was even 6 months ago to where I am now. It's something that I just don't think people like that understand, and that's fine. Not everybody is going to understand everything, but once you actually get into it and you start to appreciate everything that goes into it, I think that's when true fandom comes.
And why do you think you've grown so much within the last 6 months?
Well, I've had a good trainer. I've had a good base. I've had a good family and friend base. But I think the same mentality I had as an athlete, I bring to this. I'm my hardest critic. I have a two-time Hall of Famer who helps train me, but he's not going to give me the same heat or passion that I'm going to give myself. I'm very hard on myself. I'm a perfectionist, to my own detriment sometimes, but I want to be the best at what I do. And so each little thing that I know that I can fix, I'm going to fix, and I'm going to do it the first time. I'm not going to sit around and wait and act like I'm having fun. This is a job at the end of the day, and I want to be the best at my job. And I want that affirmation, honestly, from myself and from others, because I want to be good at this. I want to be remembered, that I was one of the best at, in my day. So
Mhm.
that's what I'm shooting for.
Yeah, and before I wrap things up, what's something that like you wish your fans would understand about like maybe you or something that they don't know that you kind of like want them to know?
Um, well, I'd say just a little piece of advice, and this could be life advice or it could be wrestling advice. You could take it how you want it. I didn't really start growing in my career or my life until I started becoming confident in who I was as a person. And so once I really like hammered down that concept, I became the happiest I've ever been in my life and in my career. I was floating around wrestling show after show, trying to find what I wanted to do or who I wanted to be. And once I really became confident in me as an individual, it became so much easier for me in life. And so if you can take that with you wherever you go, I think you're going to make things that much easier and happier for yourself.
Mhm. Yeah, it's really good advice right there. So I cannot thank you enough for coming on, and I really appreciate it.
Hey, Jordan, I appreciate it. And thank you very much for staying with it. I know it took us a while to get this actually done, but I'm glad we did.
Yes, I am as well. Thank you. I really appreciate it again. So have a
Yes,
good
sir.
one.
Have a good day.
Safe travels as well.
Yes, sir. You too.
Bye.
Bye.